Hey guys, welcome back to Infidelity Stories. Make sure like and subscribe to the channel for more spicy stories. Now, let's get into story video.
I, 36 male, think my wife of 8 years, 31 female, is having an affair with our couple's therapist, 42 male. For obvious reasons, it should be discarded. After having communication difficulties for around 1.5 years, my wife and I decided to seek help from a marriage counselor approximately 7 months ago. It begins off nicely, and we are able to communicate more efficiently as time goes by. A little more than 3 months ago, she started attending extra sessions for personal care. Alone. This was about the time, around 3 months ago, when our couple's sessions with all three of us got much more one-sided, with me playing the bad guy and the two other participants kind of teaming up against me. He becomes Danny, and she begins to tell her friends about him and how wonderful he is for her self-care. However, if her friends express an interest in scheduling an appointment with him, she responds by saying he only does couples or he's not taking new clients, which I find strange because he has always been referred to as Doctor So-and-so, and now he is suddenly referred to as Danny. I'm not sure if he's actually refusing to take on any more clients. In the sessions, they started teaming up against me, and that was around the time my wife and I had our final encounter, about 3 months ago. 3 nights ago, my wife informed me that she had an emergency with her sister and that she wanted me to come see her right away. There have been a few more unusual coincidences that have left me bewildered. Afterwards, she went to the toilet and showered before putting on her perfume and leaving. It was almost 9:30 p.m., and I was beginning to feel a little out of place. I tracked her iPhone down about a half hour later, and the location turned out to be his place of employment. The next day, when she arrived home 3 hours later, I questioned as to the well-being of her sister, to which she responded with the bizarre "Oh, you know Jenny, drama queen." I think I will put them on the defensive throughout the session on Thursday. Update: I've told my wife that I'll be required to go out of town until Monday as a result of a project I'm working on with a client. I installed 3 cameras in my house, 1 in each room and 1 in the bedroom, to monitor activity. I'll be staying with my brother till the evening of Monday. Despite the fact that I'm something of a roller coaster rider, I decided that this was the greatest approach to possible obtain evidence at this point in time. Story 2. I just got cheated on, and I don't know how to move on with my life. Hello, and welcome to everyone. The subject of this is something that never occurred to me until I started posting on Reddit. A little bit about myself. I'm a 21-year-old lady who will graduate from college in a few months. Despite the fact that I've had a rough life, things have seemed to be getting better in recent months. Their relationship had only just come to an end, and my ex-boyfriend was the catalyst for it. First and foremost, there are a few things you should be aware of about my cheating ex-boyfriend. As a lesbian for the last 2 years, I've identified as such since the only other person I've ever loved was my female best friend, and the mere thought of male reproductive makes my stomach turn. As a result of my past experiences with guys and my father's troubles, I came to believe that I couldn't be in a relationship with a man. That is, until Adam came along, 20. Adam was my very first friend. We first met in September of last year, but it wasn't until October that we really became close friends. Everything, from library study to park trips to swimming, was done as a group effort. He was courteous to me. When we stepped outside and the temperature was below freezing, he offered me his gloves to keep me warm. When I was depressed and couldn't stop weeping, he took me to the park and showed me all of his pondering spots, which I found fascinating. He was a kind person who was always willing to listen. At a time when I was feeling down on myself, my boyfriend sent me a note in which he explained everything about me that was nice. Adam was accompanied by a female friend. He supposedly had a girlfriend whom he apparently loathed, and he was always criticizing her, labeling her as bossy and toxic, according to the allegations. Due to his kindness and want to help, I trusted him completely. He even gave me text messages that contributed to the legitimacy of his deceit. When he confessed his feelings for me, he claimed the next day that he had barred his ex from seeing me, and we started dating a few days later. We went roller on our first day together. And it was really ridiculous. I could never have imagined falling out of love with my first love or even looking at a man without feeling afraid of what may happen. In spite of this, he was kind and made me feel at ease being myself in his company. I had faith in him, thought he was attractive, and felt he was a nice guy. I was wrong. The first month was uneventful, even without flaws. During the second month, everything started to go awry. Our relationship had been moving at a breakneck pace, and I was experiencing intense feelings much too quickly, but I believed we would be together for the rest of our lives. Even if he felt that way about me, the last person I'd ever loved, I didn't realize that it didn't apply to him at the time. A slew of warning signs went unnoticed by me, such as his maintaining a Snapchat streak with his ex-girlfriend and interacting with her on a regular basis, and him being so fat-phobic that I wanted to stop eating. They were ultimately able to locate me. After conversing with a few mutual friends, I realized he was gaslighting me, emotionally abusing me, and pressing me, and I confronted him. He even stopped us from touching at one point because I was making too many excuses despite the fact that I had never lied about anything related. I intended to end my relationship with him as soon as I learned this, but the day after I made that decision, I found that he had been on a break, if that's what it was, with his ex during the entire time we had been together, and that I had effectively served as his sidekick during that time. He didn't truly care about me, and everything he did for me was a ruse to keep me under his thumb and control. And everything he said was a fabrication, and I'm continually discovering new fabrications from him. We made plans for the future, but they turned out to be complete folly. Edit, because I didn't offer much background information, I just wanted to list a handful of things he's done in the past. Due to my fear that he would leave me if I didn't engage in physical activity, I eventually gave in on things like head and hand BS. Second, when I confronted him about his contact with his ex-girlfriend, he called me a liar and claimed that he never mentioned that he had banned her from his Snapchat account, which he had, when he did. In the third instance, I went to a restaurant with a friend, and the other person became upset because I didn't invite him, because he is fat-phobic and I didn't want my friend to suffer from his prejudiced sense of humor, and he ended up going there with a mutual friend, and he ended up ignoring me even when I said hello, texting memes to a guy who harassed me, and making incredibly cruel comments about my friend to our mutual friend for the fourth time in his life. He lied about things such as girls not liking him in high school, the cause of his cancer, the reason his father smokes weed. He claimed it was for back pain, but it turns out it is for extreme, borderline abusive anger issues, and his ex being toxic. It turns out she is incredibly sweet and he was just playing the victim. Because one of our mutual contacts went to high school with him, I was able to discover all of this. I'd appreciate it if you could provide some guidance. Despite the fact that it has only been a week, I am still enraged and angry. Every time I see him, I feel like I want to scream because I'm so heated. What is the best course of action? Update. Thank you. I've been trying to concentrate on the future while yet allowing myself time to grieve our love. It's difficult balancing both, but it's critical that I keep progressing. It simply stinks right now because he's sucking all the good out of me like a parasite, and I keep thinking about how much I want the memory of him erased from my mind. But I should take him as a lesson. Yeah, it stinks that this occurred, but he's not the end of the world or the only person out there for me. I'll have to keep reminding myself of this until I'm certain it's true. Thank you for your time.